What?
In a journey.
Oh, I live in China. Hi everybody, this is Robert, Deep Cycle Blogs, doing off the bike review real quick. And just doing a blog video here real quick here. I'm gonna do a quick review real quick of my tires, and this is also a quick review of the new rotor I put on here. I'll get the model number for that rotor. I should be prepared, right, to do the review of that, but let me tell you the model number really quick on the rotor we just got here. For anybody that's doing this for reference here, I use this yellow fish program a lot when I buy stuff. So the rotor that we got here is a secondhand. It's an XTR rotor. I guess it's a XTR rt99, 203 millimeter. And you know, I had 203 millimeter on my other wheel set, and then when I changed it, I mistakenly got 180 millimeter, and I rode for about 400 kilometers on the 180, and I could totally feel the difference, especially on the bridges and pulling the trailers. I could really, and I don't know why, the heavy weight, you could really feel the difference between the 180 and the 203. At least I could. So I just put this on here right now, and it's center lock because I made a mistake when I built these wheels. I forgot to tell them to use the bolt. And compare, you hear me talk about in the video, this wheel set's using the LX hub. The wheel builder in Shanghai told me that the LX had less problems than the XT. I wanted to buy the XT. Actually, I wanted to buy the 36 hole, what are those called? Hope Evo 2s. But on my older wheel set, I had 32 hub. And the bearings, you know, on 17,000, 18,000 kilometers riding with those or more, the bearings I only had to service twice, and they're great. They're so wonderful. Whereas my old bike had a LX hub, I think, or an XT hub. I can't remember. I think it was maybe LX. Can't remember. So long ago. But it had problems with the. I want to say it was XT. I'm not sure. But it had problems with the Shimano bearings. So when I bought the last wheel set, I got the Hopes. Because I'm going to America and I bought these for strength, I decided to go with the LX. But the guy that built this wheel set, he didn't do a very good job, and he used the same side spoke on the right and the left, and MJ pointed that out, that you can't do that. And they showed me the nipples inside the wheel, that the spoke was sticking out of the nipples, and I guess the spoke should be flush with the nipple. And I had to have the wheels rebuilt with new spokes, and they took you see, these are Sapim spokes, and they're double butted, so you can see right here the double butt, and they actually cut the Sapim spokes. They cut way into the butt, and it was just a really bad build job. And the guys said, well, I should have gone with the XT hubs at the MJ shop. They said the XT hubs are stronger than the XT. Well, I can't afford to change from buy LX and XT because I'm trying to save money. So I got what I've got. You know, but actually, you know what? These on here, we're about 18,000 kilometers. I don't know, maybe 20,000 kilometers. I have to look at Strava. I have no idea. But I haven't, somewhere around there. I haven't had to change my big gear or my middle gear. I haven't changed my front crankset at all. And that's an LX crankset. So, you know, I thought, well, you know, my old XT crankset from a couple years before I bought this one, I chewed up the gears, and I had to change it like right off, and twice maybe even. And it was a real pain in the ass. So because the LX was so good this time compared to the XT I had before, I thought, well, maybe the hubs will be bulletproof too. They're the LX trekking hubs, if that makes a difference. So it is what it is. They're quieter, so you can see it. You can't see the hub in there. It's LX. They're the LX trekking center lock. Unfortunately, I don't know the difference between. They say center lock has more torque or something. I don't know. I think it's a gimmick from Shimano. but they're both center lock hubs, and they're LX, and they're quieter than the Hopes. They don't make the loud clicking sound what I enjoy, but we'll see how the bearings work on it under load. I plan on shipping my other wheel set to Nevada if I try to take on the plane with me, so when I get a job at Tesla, I can put on my other wheel set to commute, because they spin much faster and I could go faster in them. But carrying my gear for the apocalypse and carrying my kids, and if you have to be camping or whatever, this is a much stronger wheel set. I mean, I would not want to carry the gear that I got to carry from the airport and with my other 32 spoke tires. So of course, I haven't rode extensive. I just rode just a couple minutes to test it already. I mean, it feels great, but I could tell you, riding on the 180 after riding on a 203 for a long time, I could feel it. But now it's time. These are the DT Swiss TK-540s, and these are double walled rims. The eyelets are inside. Now I can tell you, I have broken on the Mavic. I have a Mavic. The other Mavic rims have a strange Mavic nipple on it that I've broken, 2 of them, and I've got an extra set. They were hard to find here in China, and also I had a problem with one of them breaking inside. So I've had some problems with my Mavic wheel set. Whereas on my old bike that had more than 20,000 kilometers, I did not need it. I had the wheels built at CRC. But CRC stopped building DT Swiss wheels, and when I bought my bike here, they would sell you the DT Swiss wheels, but they wouldn't build them. So that's why I bought the Mavic wheel set instead of the DT Swiss wheel set with 30. So I got what I because I didn't know. I got what I got because I didn't know if I could find a good wheel builder in China, which obviously I've had problems doing. Even the second wheel builder, he used the right spokes, got the back wheel out, and was completely out of true. And it's still a tiny bit out of true, but like when I got them from CRC, they were straight, like perfect, and they were straight for like 20,000 kilometers before my bike was stolen. Maybe 24,000, I think it was. But anyways, these you could see they've got the for rim brakes, but even though I'm using disc, it doesn't matter to me. I silver nipples. I don't care about the colors, but these are Sapim double spokes. And this is a really heavy duty schwalbe marathon tour. And the reason I'm using the tour is because you see the extra thread right there. These are noticeably heavier for me than the schwalbe marathon plus. The plus tour, they're noticeably a little bit heavier, and which means that they're not as fun to ride with. I mean, they're hard. You got to be in shape, and you got to be like willing to push it up hills. And because it's got this extra tread, I ride at 6 bar a lot because there's so much flat protection, like a thick boost strip in there kind of cushions it. I could feel the difference between 4 bar and 6 bar. It slows me down like by 3 kilometers an hour on average, I think. A lot of people say, oh, you don't want to run that high pressure. I do run that high pressure, and I have to pump them up about once a week or something, once every 2 weeks, I don't know. But this tread will grab every thick groove and the lane striping on the streets. So you got to be on your guard about that. I noticed coming back from my schwalbe Marathon Supreme tleasy's to these, wow, kind of keeps you aware, right? But these tires are like riding on rail, like on tracks, like on a railroad tracks. And when this bike is loaded, like crazy loaded, like we're going to America loaded, and like covered wagon, and my kids pulling 2 trailers, and like there's so much weight on the front of these bars. It is so hard. Like I can't even, when I'm driving and pulling 2 trailers, I can't use one hand. And when you first start out, it's like want to swerve so heavy to, when I've got 2 sleeping bags and a sleeping bag, sleeping pad, 2 sleeping pads, the 2 front Arkles 40s, I think, and I've got the front Arkle, the front bag here. There's so much weight, and there's weight on the back pulling the trailer. There's so much weight that like even stopping or going up a hill, I mean, it's and when you turn right and left, and it wants to turn right and left, you got to be on your guard. I mean, you got to like push into the hand. You got to really know if you're tired or something, you're gonna die, because you got to actually, you know, when you ride a bike, you move back and you're balancing back and forth. But here to balance, it's got so much resistance and so much torque that you really have to use all of your muscle. It's quite a workout. It's like you got to use all your muscle, pushing and pulling. You're balancing with full resistance, so it's really tiring. It's really tough to carry that heavy load. And when I first put that load, because I've never rode with that heavy load on my bike, when I first put that load on there, I thought, you know, honestly, when I put all the trailers on the back and everything, what I don't have there right now, I thought, well, I thought it was gonna like break my rear triangle. And I thought, oh man, and I was scared that the torque is gonna break my pin, and I still am worried about that. It didn't break. I pulled more than 100 pounds. I have 3 kids, 2 trailers, 6-person tent, 4 sleeping bags, camping gear, and I still got to load more on there. So I was worried it was going to break my frame. Thank God the frame didn't break. It's just, I guess the steel frame was made for this, but I thought it was going to break the frame. And I thought just starting, just the torsion, just the torque and stuff on the rim, I thought that was going to like break the spokes. I would not want to do that, feel comfortable do that on my 32 spoke rims. On these rims, they are strong, and they got to be strong because the whole ride, I mean, I rode on a 40 or 50 kilometer ride or whatever, pulling the extra trailer, and I'm about to go to Nevada and go on hundreds of kilometers rides pulling the kids. And I've already rode, you know, like I said, on my old bike I had this set, very similar, only I used DT Swiss spokes instead of the Sapim spokes. I don't know the difference. Sapim's got a really good relay. I'm probably saying, oh, they got a good reputation. And but I've always carried stuff in my bike bags, and even with these tires, carrying my gear, like I don't know how much gear's in my 17-inch workstation clothes. It's quite heavy. But on my old wheel set, I was almost thinking, oh, my rack, I'm gonna change my rack. My rack's not sturdy. I feel like the flex of my real tires. You heard me say that a lot if you're watching my blog at all. But since I've put this tire on here, I mean, I was literally, the reason I'm using this toe peak rack, which isn't very stable, especially I hate these right here, is because I could put the dog on the top, I could slide another bag in the top that I have. But actually, I mean, my bags are like eating away the aluminum braces. If I had the money, I would switch the rack, but it still works. But I mean, I could hold the box and put the dog in it and stuff, so I can't do that with the other racks. But I was literally thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to change this rack because of the flex. And it wasn't really the rack that was flexing, it was the 32 spoke tires wheel set that I was riding on. So because I put this 36 spoke wheel set, I don't know what the difference is, and I don't know, you know, it's a little bit narrow rim, this rim, than the Mavic rim. The Mavic rim is actually a wider downhill mountain bike tire, and this is actually a 700 cc tire, and it's a little bit narrower, so maybe it's not so good off-road, but maybe it's that narrow, and the double walls would give it strength. So I'm really happy though with them. I put them on there. I mean, if I was just commuting to work, I would switch them over to the other wheel set I have, just because I have the luxury of having 2 wheel sets right now, and I did not have that luxury before. And if I just had one single wheel set, this would be the wheel set I had. Even though it can't do tubeless, and when I bought the bike, I could only choose one wheel set, and I didn't want to I didn't know any wheel builders here, so I went with the Mavic. But don't get me wrong, the Mavic's fast, and I could drive like when I was younger. I mean, when I was younger and I had these tires, like maybe, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, whatever, I was pretty quick on them. I was as quick as I am with the Mavic. I was faster than I was with the Mavic. I was stronger though, and younger. By 7 years, I don't know if I'll get that strength and that ability, but I was riding like 5 jobs a day, and I was riding 450 kilometer weeks almost every week, right? So I was in good shape, and I used to tell myself, well, it's good training wheels. But so if you're in the market and you only need one wheel set that's bulletproof, go with the TK-540s, I fully recommend them. But if you want to speed, you know, remember these tires, I hear they do real bad tubeless. And since I do have the extra set, and I hope I could get the extra set to America with me, it's going to be real hard to get them out of China. I don't know how I'm going to ship anything. I got to try to take everything out with me once. I haven't determined if I'm able to ship them out, put them in the bike box on the airplane, or what. I got to get my final packaging with the kids and their clothes and my clothes, and see how it goes, packing for the plane and getting there. If I could have 2 wheel sets, I would use the other wheel set for commuting to work with the tires. I have the Schwalbe Marathon Supreme. They're fast and they're good for commuting. I mean, I've only rode them for maybe, I don't know, like 1,000 kilometers or maybe 2,000 kilometers at the most. Not even that, maybe. I don't think. Maybe 2,000. I don't know, 8,000. But they're so much faster, man. Wow. And they're so much easier to go up hills, and there's high RPM. But you know, I haven't had a flat in them. You need to pump them up more because they're tubeless. But with these here, yeah, maybe I went 2,000 kilometers at least on the other set, I guess. Maybe more than that. But with these here, I'm not scared of getting a flat. I do not fear. Now, as of testing with a fully loaded to get ready a little bit, I'm not scared of. You could load this bike to the max. I am not worried at all of that dreaded ping of the broken spoke. And I definitely have more confidence in the nipples on this wheel set. The other one's just corroded on the Mavic set, and they're just so like brittle, I think. But on these, I got 4 extra spokes. I got extra nipples. You don't need a special spoke nipple wrench to change the nipples on these. I'm very happy with it. So anyways, this has been my, and also I'm happy. You know, I would never buy any XTR stuff. It's the first time in my life I buy anything XTR because the durability is not there. But if you look on this XTR rotor, it's got this heat dissipating fin on here that I've never seen on the XT rotor. So because of that, it will allow the brake shoes to last longer. They'll be cooler, and there's a larger circumference, so it's also stops. It's cooler and stops better because they're cooler. I could feel it going downhill a lot, pulling heavy loads, but it's because of this. And brake rotors, they don't wear out really. So even though it's XTR, I wouldn't want to have XTR or anything else because it's overpriced, not worth it. But I bought this secondhand for 250 RMB. So you do the conversion, which is like I don't know, maybe $30 or $25 or something. Good deal on it, and it's hardly been used. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Big thumbs up on the TK-540s. They're old and they're well trusted. A lot of people have done a lot of touring on them. I really studied them up real well before I bought them the first time years ago. There might be newer models, they might be a little bit heavy, but they're bulletproof, you know, for 36 spoke. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.